Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about something that affects all of us: money. We work hard to earn it, but do we use it wisely? Money is not just paper or numbers in a bank account. It is the result of hard work, sacrifice, and time spent earning it. Yet, so many people spend it carelessly, not realizing that every unnecessary expense is a missed opportunity. Money has the power to shape our future, to provide security, to open doors to success, but only if we use it wisely. My name is Muniba, Mazari, and I am motivational speaker. If you find this video fruitful, then you can appreciate me by like and subscribe and start a new journey with me. Let's start. The topic: we live in a world where spending money has become easier than ever. Everywhere we look, there are advertisements, discounts, and offers tempting us to buy things we don't really need. Social media constantly shows us a lifestyle that makes us feel like we need to keep up to own the latest fashion, the newest gadgets, the trendiest accessories. And so, without even thinking, we swipe our cards, hand over our cash, and bring home things that add little to no real value to our lives. But have we ever stopped to ask ourselves, why? Why do we feel the need to buy things that only bring temporary happiness? Why do we waste our hard-earned money on things that we forget about in a few days? It is because society has made us believe that owning more means being more, but that is a lie. True happiness, true success, and true peace do not come from spending money carelessly. They come from knowing what truly matters. Think about the countless times you have bought something just because it was on sale. You didn't really need it, but the discount made it look like a great deal. Or those times when you bought something expensive just to impress others, even though deep inside you knew it was not worth it. Maybe you went to a restaurant, ordered more food than you could eat, and ended up wasting it. These small careless decisions might not seem like a big deal in the moment, but when they add up, they create a pattern. A pattern that drains your money and leaves you with nothing when you truly need it. Now imagine a different scenario. Imagine if instead of spending money on unnecessary things, you chose to save it. Imagine if you used it for something meaningful: your education, your health, your future. Imagine the power of having financial security, of knowing that when an emergency comes, you are prepared. Imagine the peace of knowing that your money is working for you, not against you. Every single rupee, dollar, or pound you earn represents your hard work. It represents the hours you spent working, the energy you gave, the sacrifices you made. So why waste it on things that do not add value to your life? Why trade long-term security for short-term pleasure? Real financial success is not about how much you earn. It is about how wisely you use what you have. It is about being smart with your money, being mindful of where it goes, and understanding that unnecessary spending will only lead to regret. Think about a student who wastes money on expensive shoes, parties, and unnecessary gadgets. In the moment, it feels fun. But later, when it's time to invest in a course, buy books, or pay for an important exam, they struggle. Or think about a man who spends his entire salary on things that do not matter, only to realize later that he has no savings to support his family when they need it most. Or a woman who keeps buying new clothes and accessories, but panics when she has to pay for a medical emergency. The truth is, financial struggles don't happen overnight. They build up over time through small, careless choices. But the good news is, the power to change lies in your hands, the power to control your spending, to make better decisions, to value your hard-earned money. It is all within you. So before you buy something, pause and ask yourself, do I really need this? Is this worth my hard work? Will this help me in the future? If the answer is no, then walk away. Your money is not just for spending, it is for securing your future, for building your dreams, and for ensuring that you and your loved ones never have to struggle when life gets tough. Every day, we make choices about how we spend our money. Some choices are small: a cup of coffee, a snack, a new shirt. Others are bigger: a new phone, a vacation, a luxury item. But whether big or small, every choice matters. Every time we spend money, we are making a decision that affects our future. Yet too often, we spend without thinking. We buy things simply because they look good in the moment, without considering whether they are truly worth it. And then, when we actually need money for something important, we realize we have wasted it on things that did not matter. Think about the last time you bought something on impulse. Maybe it was a trendy outfit, a gadget, or an expensive meal. At that moment, it felt exciting. But after a few days, did it really make a difference in your life? Did it bring lasting happiness, or did it just become another forgotten purchase? How many times have we bought things only to regret them later? The truth is, we often don't need most of the things we spend money on. We buy out of habit, peer pressure, or the illusion that material things will make us happy. But happiness that comes from spending mindlessly never lasts. Imagine standing in a store, holding something in your hands that you're about to buy. Instead of rushing, take a moment, ask yourself, do I really need this? Is this worth the money I work so hard to earn? Will this add value to my life? If the answer is no, then walk away. That single decision, that single moment of self-control can change your financial future. Because money, once gone, does not come back. But the habit of thinking before spending can save you from years of regret. We see this mistake everywhere. A student who spends all his money on eating out only to struggle when he needs to buy books or pay fees. A working professional who buys expensive clothes just to impress others, but later realizes he has nothing saved for emergencies. A woman who keeps shopping online thinking each purchase will make her happy, but deep inside she still feels empty. The problem is not how much we earn, but how mindlessly we spend. If we learn to pause and think before every purchase, we gain control over our financial future. We stop making decisions based on emotions and start making them based on wisdom. We start valuing our money, not as something to waste, but as something to protect and use for the right reasons. Money is not just for today, it is for tomorrow, for emergencies, for opportunities, for our well-being. If we don't take care of it, it will slip through our fingers, leaving us unprepared when we truly need it. There is power in financial awareness. There is strength in self-control. When we learn to question our spending habits, we begin to make smarter choices. We start investing in things that truly matter: our education, our health, our future security. We stop letting the world dictate how we should spend and start making choices that serve us in the long run. So before you buy anything, think. Think about whether it is truly needed. Think about whether it will add value to your life. Think about whether your future self will thank you for this decision. Because in the end, money is not just about what we earn. It is about how wisely we use it. And those who master the art of mindful spending are the ones who build a future of financial freedom, security, and peace. We often see money as something that comes and goes, something we use to buy the things we want. But money is far more than that. Money is security. Money is freedom. Money is the difference between living with peace and struggling with stress. Yet, so many of us spend without thinking, believing that as long as we have a job or an income, we are safe. But life is unpredictable. Emergencies come without warning. Opportunities arise when we least expect them. And if we are not prepared, we find ourselves trapped. Not because we didn't earn enough, but because we didn't save enough. Think about the times when people suddenly needed money. A medical emergency, a job loss, an urgent family matter. The expensive clothes, the gadgets, the luxuries we once bought mean nothing when we are struggling to pay hospital bills or afford basic necessities. We realize too late that financial security is not about how much we earn, but how well we manage what we have. Imagine a man who spends his entire salary on expensive outings, branded clothes, and the latest phones. He feels good in the moment, believing that money will always come, but one day he loses his job. Suddenly, the reality hits him. He has no savings, no backup, and no way to sustain himself. The people who once praised his lifestyle are nowhere to be found. He now struggles to pay rent, to afford food, to survive. And then he understands that financial freedom is not about spending. It is about having the power to stand on your own, no matter what happens in life. Now, think of a student who spends all their money on entertainment, fast food, and unnecessary gadgets. At first, it feels like fun. But later, when an opportunity comes to take an important course, buy a laptop for studying, or invest in something meaningful, they realize they have nothing left. They watch as others move forward while they remain stuck, not because they weren't capable, but because they didn't plan ahead. A woman who saves her money, who controls her spending, who invests in her future is not weak. She is powerful. She is independent. She is prepared. She knows that money is not just for shopping and impressing others. It is for ensuring that when life throws challenges at her, she can face them with confidence. She knows that saving money is not just about numbers. It is about dignity, peace of mind, and the ability to live life on her own terms. When we save money, we are not just securing ourselves, we are securing our families. Parents who save can give their children a better future. Young professionals who save can support their dreams. Elders who save can live with respect instead of depending on others. Saving money is not about being selfish, it is about being responsible. It is about understanding that life is full of uncertainties, and the only way to be truly free is to be financially prepared. The problem is that many of us think we will start saving later. We believe we will have more money in the future, that we will plan once we earn more. But the truth is, if we don't learn to save when we have little, we will never save even when we have more. Financial security does not come from earning a high salary. It comes from developing the habit of managing money wisely. Every time we spend recklessly, we are stealing from our future. Every time we save, we are protecting it. Money is not just a tool for today, it is a shield for tomorrow. The choice is in our hands. We can either live paycheck to paycheck, controlled by our spending habits, or we can take control, make wise choices, and build a future where we are financially strong, independent, and free. Everywhere around us, we see people struggling financially, not because they didn't have opportunities, but because they didn't manage their money wisely. We hear stories of students who couldn't pay for their exams, workers who couldn't handle an emergency, families who lived paycheck to paycheck, and individuals who earned well but had nothing to show for it. These situations don't happen overnight. They are the result of years of small, careless decisions repeated again and again. Take the example of a student. He gets pocket money or earns a small income from a part-time job. Instead of saving a portion of it, he spends it on fast food, expensive clothes, and entertainment. He believes it doesn't matter because it's a small amount. But as time passes, he realizes he has no savings for an important course, a laptop, or an educational trip that could shape his future. While others move forward, he is left behind, not because he lacked talent or potential, but because he didn't prioritize his financial choices. Now, imagine a man who works hard, earns a good salary, but spends without thinking. He buys the latest phone even when his old one works fine. He goes out every weekend, treating his friends, spending on things that bring temporary pleasure. He believes his job is secure, that money will keep coming, but then one day, life takes an unexpected turn. He loses his job or faces a financial crisis. Suddenly, he has no savings to rely on, no backup plan, and the stress begins to consume him. He realizes that if only he had managed his money better, he would not be in this situation. Or think about a woman who spends most of her income on shopping, trying to keep up with trends, believing that material things will bring her happiness. She never thinks about saving for an emergency, investing in self-improvement, or planning for her future. But when a medical emergency arises in her family, she feels helpless. She has nothing to contribute, nothing to support herself or her loved ones. She realizes too late that real power doesn't come from owning expensive things. It comes from financial independence. These situations are not rare. They happen to people every single day. The difference between those who struggle and those who stay strong in difficult times is not luck, nor is it about how much they earn. It is about how they handle their money. Money, when used wisely, gives us choices. It gives us the ability to say yes to opportunities, to handle emergencies with confidence, and to live life without fear. But when we waste it, we become prisoners of financial stress. We all know someone who earns less but lives peacefully because they manage their money well. And we all know someone who earns a lot but is always struggling because they spend without thinking. The key is not in how much we earn, but in how well we manage what we have. The key is in making better choices, in understanding that every small decision adds up over time. Financial problems don't come knocking on the door with a warning. They come suddenly, without notice. The only way to be prepared is to start making smart financial decisions today. Every time we choose to waste money on something unnecessary, we are stealing from our future. But every time we choose to save, we are giving ourselves a gift of security, a gift of freedom, a gift of control over our own lives. The difference between a person who suffers in financial crises and a person who stands strong is not in their earnings, but in their mindset. Those who plan, those who think before they spend, those who save even when they earn little, they are the ones who live with peace, dignity, and independence. And that is the kind of life we should all strive for. Many people believe that saving money means giving up enjoyment, that being careful with spending means living a dull and restrictive life. But that is far from the truth. Real financial wisdom is not about depriving yourself. It is about making smarter choices. It is about knowing the difference between what is necessary and what is wasteful. It is about building a future where you can enjoy life without financial stress, without regrets, and without fear of the unknown. Think about the times when you spent money on things that didn't truly matter. A fancy dinner that was forgotten in a day. Expensive clothes went out of fashion too soon. Gadgets that were exciting at first but later became unnecessary. Now think about how much you could have saved if you had made different choices. Imagine if that money had been used for something meaningful, your education, a new skill, an investment, or an emergency fund that could save you in difficult times. The truth is, financial security is not about giving up joy. It is about prioritizing long-term happiness over short-term pleasure. A student who chooses to save instead of spending mindlessly does not miss out on life. Instead, they are preparing for greater opportunities. While others struggle to pay for their education, they have the financial freedom to enroll in courses, buy the tools they need, and invest in their future. A working professional who controls their expenses does not live a boring life. They live a life where they are not constantly worried about bills, where they are free to make choices based on dreams rather than desperation. When people say money is meant to be spent, they forget that money is also meant to be used wisely. It is meant to bring security, peace, and a sense of control over one's destiny. Those who understand this do not fear financial difficulties because they are always prepared. Those who fail to see this truth live in constant uncertainty, wondering where their money disappeared and why they are always struggling, even when they earn well. Imagine a woman who, instead of spending on unnecessary luxuries, invests in learning new skills. Years later, those skills help her secure a better job, start a successful business, or become financially independent. Imagine a man who chooses to save a portion of his salary every month. When a medical emergency arises, he does not panic, does not borrow money, does not feel helpless because he was prepared. Saving does not mean saying no to everything you enjoy. It means being wise enough to know when to say yes and when to walk away. It means knowing that every financial decision you make today shapes your tomorrow. It means understanding that true wealth is not measured by how much you spend, but by how much you have when you need it most. People often chase temporary happiness, buying things to impress others, spending money to feel good for a moment. But true happiness comes from financial peace, from knowing that no matter what happens, you are secure. The ability to handle emergencies, to invest in dreams, to live life on your own terms, that is the real reward of smart financial choices. There will always be temptations to spend, always be people who live recklessly and make it look fun. But in the long run, those who are mindful about money, who save and invest wisely, are the ones who truly win. They are the ones who enjoy life without the weight of financial stress, who wake up every day knowing they are in control of their future. And that is the kind of success that lasts. Money is not just paper or numbers in a bank account. It is the result of hard work, sacrifice, and time spent earning it. Yet so many people spend it carelessly, not realizing that every unnecessary expense is a missed opportunity. Money has the power to shape our future, to provide security, to open doors to success, but only if we use it wisely. Too often, people focus only on what they can buy today. They chase short-term pleasures without thinking about long-term consequences. A new gadget, an expensive meal, a luxury item. These things feel exciting for a moment, but that excitement fades quickly. What remains is an empty wallet and the realization that the money could have been put to better use. People regret their choices when they face financial difficulties, but by then, it is too late to undo the past. The truth is, financial success is not about earning more. It is about managing what you have with wisdom and purpose. Imagine a student who spends all their money on outings, fashion, and entertainment. They enjoy the moment, but later, when they need money for an important course, an internship, or even a necessary book, they find themselves struggling. Their past choices catch up with them, and they are forced to rely on others for support. Now imagine a different student, one who understands the value of money. They still enjoy life, but they make conscious decisions. They save a portion of their money, invest in their education, and prepare for the future. When the time comes, they are ready. They move forward while others remain stuck. Consider a working professional who spends without limits, believing that as long as they have a steady income, they are safe. They buy the latest gadgets, dine at expensive restaurants, and follow every new trend. But one day, they face an unexpected challenge, a job loss, a medical emergency, or a family crisis. Suddenly, they realize they have no savings, no backup plan. The comfort they once enjoyed disappears in an instant. Now imagine another person in the same situation, but with a different mindset. This person saves regularly, invests wisely, and controls their expenses. When life throws challenges their way, they remain strong because they were prepared. They don't panic, they don't beg for help, and they don't suffer unnecessarily. Their past choices protect them in the present. Money is a tool. When used correctly, it brings freedom, confidence, and opportunities. But when wasted, it becomes a source of stress, regret, and struggle. The difference between financial success and failure is not about how much money one earns, it is about how well one manages it. Some people earn little, but live peacefully because they save and plan ahead. Others earn a fortune, but remain in debt because they spend carelessly. It is not about the amount. It is about the mindset. The world is full of distractions designed to make you spend. Advertisements, social media, peer pressure, all of these tempt you to waste money on things that do not truly matter. But those who succeed in life are those who resist these temptations. They understand that every rupee, dollar, or pound they save today is a step toward a better tomorrow. They know that financial discipline is not a punishment, but a path to true freedom. Every small decision matters. Choosing to save instead of spending on unnecessary things, investing in personal growth instead of fleeting pleasures, prioritizing the future over momentary satisfaction. These choices determine the kind of life you will live. Those who respect money, who use it wisely, and who understand its true purpose are the ones who achieve financial independence, stability, and lasting happiness. The power is in your hands. You decide whether money controls you or you control money. And that decision will shape your entire future.